you asked the question. You said, you bet that I've been doing a lot of thinking, and doing so, you start thinking about things differently. Let's start there.
You said I asked if you did, and you said you did. But you see, that's all this is, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, this is to get them thinking different.
Yeah.
And if they see it as something blown out over that, well, then they're missing it because
Yeah.
you see, they're looking beyond their understanding. See, and that's what you're here to get, isn't it?
It
Little
is.
understanding.
Absolutely.
Well, it's right with you. You let it in. It's always knocking here, but you see, you take it to be something else. You get used to your world of experiencing all this drama man play of humanity, and you get caught up in it, but we're told to be in the world, but not to get involved in the world, except we do have a body, and it's very persistent in reminding you it's time to eat. Okay? So, but there's a problem. When we start looking at our world, we see it as competition, and it isn't. You see, everything is, I mean, sports is actually the new religion.
It is.
Oh,
One
come
of
on.
them.
Look at those stadiums, man, all filled with thousands of people. And they didn't have to pass the plate. They charge you before you ever get in.
Absolutely.
And big bucks now.
Absolutely.
I mean, wow. I know I know because I just saw it on a cartoon on the TV,
Mhm.
and it shows the prices, that they paid according to, wow, man, I never dreamed about that much, you know, but yeah, I can understand the pinch everybody feels,
Yeah.
but and everything changes or goes away,
Yeah.
which is a change in itself. But you understand, it all does do just exactly that. All of this goes away. I know big new stuff, but this goes away. Yeah, and we go with it, you're right? But you see, the thing of it is that there's nothing transforming in death. In other words, you don't die, the body dies, but you don't die because you're not body. You're using body, just like I'm using this shirt, you're using the body. Well, okay, but and this shirt goes eventually give it to somebody else or burn it, come on. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna burn you. Hey, you're on all the time. You understand that? ALL, all the time. You're on every word. Here you're back to using the word again, and the words with God. In other words, you're actually asking Him for what you're thinking about, good, bad, or indifferent, and you will be answered just as quickly, just as thoroughly. What are you thinking about? Do you really know what it is you're thinking about? I mean, because let's face it, most of the time we're lost in thought. I mean, thinking about things you don't want to do. So why are you thinking about it? If as you think you are, you see, you're setting yourself up. And like I said, I catch myself 10 times a day, maybe more than that, setting myself up for an experience I don't want any part of. But yet I'm thinking it in my mind, in the theater of mind. I'm seeing me in this position and others that are around me in that position to have that effect. He makes it so. It didn't say it has to be physically out here. Thinking makes it so. If you're viewing it in your mind as being not what you like, then you're going to experience not what you like. It works that way, doesn't it?
It does. Somebody had just posted something in the Facebook group, and they stated that they had been following the teachings of Neville for about 13 years, but for 13 years, they've been in a state of depression. And I told her, I said, listen, I'm not a therapist, but what I do know is what has our attention has our life. And most people, you keep saying that thinking makes it so. If I keep thinking on, let's say, depression, for example, eventually thinking on depression continuously becomes my body's norm. And so the only thing that I can keep reproducing is depressive thoughts. And at that point, then we, of course, we require therapy, we require treatment, but it started off as a thought. And that thought may have been, I'm not happy with my environment. I'm not happy with my life. I like to be doing more, but I'm not doing what I think I should be doing. Whatever those thoughts are, we keep building upon those thoughts and they become the lifestyle.
He makes it so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, you see, you see how simple it breaks down to?
Yeah.
I mean, thinking makes it so. What are you thinking about? Are you really aware of what you are allowing yourself to think about? You understand? Because you see, those are the surprises in life. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's your
Absolutely.
surprises in life because you didn't know you were thinking such a thing. And now here it is. But you did.
Yeah.
You see, you're on all the time. You understand? As scripture calls it, praying ceaselessly. That one was kind of a hard one.
Yeah.
That yeah, no, it really is. It really is. It is. And at first, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. At first, it is difficult
Yeah.
just to do what you're instructed to do, which is sit down and be still, not quiet, still. In other words, you're letting go of this, and you can do so. And I the first time you do it, you wonder, where was I at all those years? I mean, talk about right in front of you, man. That's what it is. And do you recognize it though? See, St. Paul said, do you not recognize that Jesus Christ is in you, not with you? See, not out here. No, he's in you. And he is you, allowing you to map it out, to find it out. And the only way he could do that was to give you whatsoever to choose from. So you do have and are acting like God power because that's the only power there is. So that must be what you're playing with. But watch how you're playing with it. You see, because you're on all the time. You see, all the time. Thinking makes it so. What has your attention? Because what has your attention has your life. It's as simple as that. And if you'll keep it simple, you'll remember it, because we confuse it by all the stories which were there as a distraction to those who didn't really want to know and yet wanted to play the game. And they are playing the game, but it's the thing of it is they're only playing it on themselves. You see, it's up to you to feel after better than the best. Are you doing that? And you say, well, how do I feel after it? Thinking makes it so. What has your attention has your life. If you're choosing what has your attention and you approve of it, that's how you find happy life or a happy hour.
You were stating some things, and I think that it's important. We talk about these things on a weekly basis, and you and I had a conversation last week in close because, of course, I had gotten into a funk, and we talked about that. It's important that we're mindful of our conversations, our inner conversations. Most people, we let it go off the handle. So when you inquired at the beginning of our talk, had I been thinking differently, it required that I thought something different in order to move from the state that I was in to the state that I wanted to be. And we say this on a weekly basis, but you said something earlier, and I want to go back to it. You said going into the silence, getting quiet. Some people call it meditation. Some people call it going into the closet. Whatever you call it, it's necessary that you do that so that you can begin controlling your inner dialect or your inner conversations. Would you agree?
Absolutely. All you're asked to do is be still and know that I'm God. And what else would you need to know? I mean, that's what all that going to church for, isn't it, to talk to God?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it is.
And what are you talking to him about? Are you complaining? Oh, that's not a bad. That one's really a no-no. Because remember, like I said, all things produce after their kind. So, wow, you just produced a wild west, as they talked about. Look, we're so inundated with the ongoing drama,
Absolutely.
so consistently, persistently, that we really don't recognize that we're actually being hypnotized. Really, really. And once you see it suddenly you see the foolishness of spending too much time with it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be watching or something like that. I mean, it is entertaining at times and then times, but there is so much violence in the programs. I mean, um, and if you consider that the repetition is actually focusing in your mind, because hey, look, it's all mind. That's all there is mind, and you're operating it. But how? All you have to do is just look at your life right up to this moment. Are you happy? Are you successful? And if not, why not? It's a gift. He gave it to you. Choose. And that's what you have to do. You have to choose it. You have to stand up and claim it. I am me, this, that, what, let's have it. And it's yours. All you have to do is to watch what you're allowing yourself to talk to yourself about, and then discern this is good or this is not good, and then act accordingly. It's really a very simple thing to do. It really is. And it doesn't cost you anything. Nobody else needs to know what you're doing. Do it. And you're told, do a thing and you shall have the power. The power. Come on. The power. I had a half a dozen of Neville's tapes, and I listened to them at least one every night for years before it actually touched base. I began thinking differently. The importance of having a CD, because what has your focus has your life. Think about it. We're not asking you to join anything, but you have to have the CDs. You have to have the DVDs. You have to listen to them. It's you training this. Listen, listen, listen.
But as Mr. Lindell stated, you have to listen to them repeatedly. And again, for those who are interested, click the link below and it will take you to the 4 CD set, and you'll be able to transform not only your mind, but your world.